So how's it going so far?
Yeah, all okay. Yeah, just it's been a busy few months, so it's nice that the summer's coming up and it might be a bit quieter, which is nice to have a bit of time off. Do you have time off in the summer?
Not exactly, but like we don't have professionally, but like as students we had like 1 or 2 months
Yeah,
off. So
yeah.
like yeah. Hi
I think
Akshat,
yeah.
how are you?
Okay, quiet.
Quiet. Yeah.
Hello. Hi.
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 Yeah.
Hello,
So
sir.
Hi.
we can wait for 5 minutes. I think we'll let other
Yeah,
people join as well, and then we can start. Right.
yeah, no problem at all. This you obviously take the recording from this.
Yes, I'm recording, and I'll share the
Yeah.
link afterwards. Hi George, how are you?
Hi.
Hi. It
Hey
must be
guys.
morning for you.
It is 6 p.m. I'm in Italy now. Nice to see you
Amazing.
guys.
Oh, nice. That's great.
How's things?
I think it's night for us. It's 9:30 p.m. for us over here. It's Saturday. So,
Yeah, yeah.
guys, are you guys
Certainly
having
is.
are you guys having some plans today,
I've
or
I've
is
just
it
been building stuff
busy as
today.
usual? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. My father-in-law's building a kind of a outside what called a garden room. So I've been building that for the last 6 months. We're quite close to the end, so I'll be quite relieved when it's over.
Oh, nice.
Progress is looking good. I'm seeing on the Instagram updates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been great. I've really enjoyed it, but it has. Yeah, we just want to get to the end now a bit, so we can have a bit of a break.
I think Stephen also is having a nice time. He's also on a vacation. I saw
Yeah,
his
that's
photo.
right. Yeah.
Like, I
Um,
invited him as well, but again, he told me that he's on a vacation and he might be pretty busy with that.
his meeting note taker is here, so that will report back to him.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
This is
Kogram.
quite
Yeah,
good actually. We don't have to attend any more meetings anymore. Just I'll send my
yeah,
AI note taker and then read
yeah.
afterwards.
But I don't think that we have the same feature in Gemini, right? We have to manually perform the actions over it.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
Kogram can do it for you. He
Yeah.
recently, I think, had a webinar for it as well on LinkedIn. I think.
Right.
Okay. So we had about yeah. So we can just wait for a couple of more minutes. Then I'll just start with the intro. Then I think uh, we have Allister, and then George. It will be the demo of Xfigura by you. Goes well, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mine won't be terribly long. I'm just going to do a very quick overview of what I've been up to, I suppose, over the last 12 months. So just to give an overview. So it would be, just a quick sort of like fly through of everything.
Yeah.
And then on to the main event, which is Xfigura.
Yes. Buzz. Xfigura is creating quite a buzz right now.
Yeah.
I think like many of the people are talking about intuitive UIs and all. I was not amongst the first, George, or I was amongst the people who tried out the uh, actual version. That's like I think it's recently been updated. V2 has been launched, right? Last Saturday or something.
Yes, we just launched the V2. Have some fun updates.
Great.
Okay, cool. So okay, people are still coming. I'll keep doing it side by side, but till the time we can just start, right? So hi all, I'm Naman, and so today we are just giving a small kickoff session of our community, that is AI and AEC Think Tank. So let me give you a small brief about your community. So, okay. Yeah. Hi, David. How are you?
Okay.
Cool.
How
So
about you
let
guys?
me
Good?
small. We're good. We're good. How are you?
Awesome. Right, right. I need to present. Sorry. Just wanted to say hi.
Cool. So we can have a quick start for the intro. So let me give you a small heads up about our community. So we have created this community. We also have a bigger community, which is AI and AC technical group that is being led by Mayur. Most of you must know Mayur. And we have created this community for architects, engineers, and designers, and also tech enthusiasts who are very passionate about the intersection of artificial intelligence, building information modeling in AEC industry. And again, it's a space for collaboration, it's for experimentation, knowledge exchange, etc. We also regularly share latest webinars, tools, breakthroughs in AI, computational design, automation, smart construction, etc. We also host exclusive webinars. We have expert rooms. We have resource drops, and all of this is being done at this community where we are exclusively focusing on AEC and tech, right? So today we have two guests with us. We have Alistair. Alistair we'll have a small intro about Alistair and George at the end of this session. In this session, we're just talking about quick introduction about AI and AC, followed by Alistair, who's going to talk about generative design and AI, and then followed by George. He'll showcase his product, that is Xfigura.ai. So let me give a small introduction about myself. I'm an architect, I'm a computational designer, and a Bing expert. I'm also a speaker and an educator. I work with firms implementing AI in their AEC firms. I also have 5+ years of architectural experience, and I specialize in AI integrated workflows. I'm also an AI consultant for AC firms. So if a firm wants some kind of tech solution that needs to be developed or has to be passively integrated into their workflows, I'm the one they reach out to. And also, I'm the firm owner of my architectural firm, that is Design Collective, that is based in Delhi. We are pioneering AI applications in architecture, and we focus on design methodologies using AI. So let me give a small um, workflow about this workshop. Um, First, I'll be giving a small introduction about AI, followed by, again, Alistair. He'll talk about ConTech, generative design, and AI and AC, followed by George, who's going to talk about his product, which is revolutionizing concept design in AC workflows, that is Xfigura.ai. Then we'll have a small closing session with Q&A, and post-workshop, we'll also share some reports over our community channel as well. So to start off, I recently attended a webinar from Chantal Matter. She's also a renowned architect. She hosts regularly for workflows that entails multiple softwares for visualization or architecture. And this visualization clearly shows that, just like we used to, there was a scare in the market in 1988 that we should ban calculators, we should ban chat gpt. Similarly, we are seeing a similar pattern right now in the market where there's an AI scare going on, but we are here to help you out. We are here to guide you about how to approach this, what are the main applications, and whether there is a scare situation going on or not. Right, let me see if someone's in the meeting room, then we can continue. Yeah, cool. So let me give a small introduction to AI as a part of architectural project timeline. So every architectural project timeline always starts with research, followed by concept design, schematic design, design development. Then there's documentation, followed by post-production, right? And we are here to give you a small introduction about what kind of tools that you can integrate in each workflow. It starts with research. So in research, we usually do analysis as well. Whereas in concept design, we are doing idea visualizations. In schematic design, we are doing spatial optimizations. In design development, there's facade alternations, material selections, design iterations, etc. And as you all know, in documentation, we have automated documentation and automated packaging as well. Post production, we have project management, data management, and risk analysis as well. So, there are a bunch of tools right now in the market, not just these tools that we are showing in this page. There are much more tools as well. One of the tools that we have not mentioned over here, because you're gonna have a much more depth about the tool in the later part of the session, that is Xfigura. And you'll realize that using that tool, you just won't have one aspect covered, you'll have multiple aspects covered as well. So for research, for analysis, we can use Luma AI. For site scanning, we can use Luma Labs for video rendering as well. There's Hyper, there's ChatGPT, and multiple ideation tools as well. Followed by Stable Diffusion for idea visualization, Midjourney, Ideogram. Now we can use ChatGPT as well. For spatial optimizations, we have Finch, we have Spatio, we have Plan Finder, we have ChatGPT, etc. In design development, we have stable diffusion, we'll have ChatGPT. That's also workflow that is very essential that only few of us know. In documentation, we have Glyph Copilot. We can use ChatGPT as well for this particular workflow. So one thing you will realize that I have added ChatGPT in each of the workflow, and you'll realize as the more you learn about it, you'll understand that it has multiple applications in it. It all depends on what kind of framework are you following and what kind of workflow there is. And for post project management, there is Notion AI, there's ChatGPT as well. So a small graph for showcasing why is AI important. For standard reasons, cost and time. So whenever we start a project, we either use AI tools or we don't use AI tools. So whenever we use AI tools, there's enhanced design efficiency, there is innovative solutions, and we complete project with faster and more efficient timeline. Cost and time is very critical for an AEC firm, because there are deadlines, and with those deadlines, you can incur costs for internal, companies as well. So you have to be very mindful of timelines and cost. Whereas in traditional methods, you must know that in most of the cases, there is either delay in the timeline or there is budget issue. So again, using AI softwares, AI-based workflows, you can easily cut those solutions to half. So let me present some stats. Yeah. So let me present some stats. Let me talk about. So these are some facts that I have derived from sources like McKinsey and Company, PwC, Deloitte, TechCrunch, Wired, etc. And the main focus over here that I will be emphasizing on in this session is why upskilling is so important. First of all, in AI-driven architecture firms, there are two types of firms right now in the market: very basic traditional firms, and then we have AI-driven firms. Uh, you notice that the innovation levels of traditional firms, let us assume if it's 100%, for AI-driven firms, it's around 120%. So clearly, it showcases that there's 20% more innovation that is happening in an AI-driven firm as compared to a traditional firm. And when you talk about AI usage as well, so let us suppose, I think since 2022, ChatGPT and AI race has begun taking up good amount of pace. So post 2022, most of the new architecture startups, only 25% of the startups are still leveraging AI for their workflows, whereas 75% are still not leveraging it, whereas they have the advantage of being timely establishing their business with focusing entirely on AI as part of the workflows. Um, Talking about recruitment priorities, so these are stats as for these companies on the basis of the papers, research articles, or as of last year, 2024. And they talk about recruitment priorities and AI adoption as well. In recruitment priorities, you'd notice that 60% of the firms now prioritize AI expertise to some level or not, whereas 40% are still not prioritizing, and the number is likely to increase this year as well. Whereas AI adoption has increased drastically. You notice that 45%, which is almost half of the new or the old age firms, are trying to adopt AI tools. They're trying to understand AI workflows. It's a very vague number. If a firm is using a basic tool as ChatGPT, you could say that they are trying to adopt AI. So that's a part of this graph. But using it efficiently and using the right tools is much more important. Impact on cost estimation accuracy. Again, if you have an smart AI driven workflow, your cost estimation can be 100% accurate. Again, in traditional estimation, it's around 60% on average. So again, it's a very important workflow that we can learn. And in design time, again with AI, you can reduce the design time by 30%. And in some cases, if it's a small scale project, it has proved to showcase, reduce in design time by more than 70% as well. Let me give you a small insight on projected growth on AI driven market. So it is likely to increase by more than 3 times in the next 5 years, next 3 years, 3 to 5 years. And that is very important because there are many forms also going on right now in the market about the economics, the skills requirement, and the future market by 2030. And it's not a scary graph, but it's an important graph for you to look into, because many of the projections, many of the key analytics companies that are performing these actions clearly indicate that AI as a skill is going to be very important. And again, it's going to impact on the earnings as well. So skill is something that is very reciprocal to the earnings as well. So you have to make sure that you learn the right AI skills as well. Though this is news that was quite famous quite a while ago, that AI as a skill is very important, and you can see that in this example, where Real Madrid spent around $80 million to sign Ronaldo. It's way back, I think, in 2016 or 17. And right now, we just heard that Meta has reportedly paid $100 million to sign, a a key researcher from OpenAI. So poaching is a real thing that has been happening in this space. The only reason that is it's so cost intensive and so active is because AI as a skill is very important. I'm not saying that AI as a skill in AEC is going to give you the same results, but it's a clear indicator that it's a very essential skill, and if you are very proficient in it, it's going to be very beneficial for you. Let me give you some small stats as well. Um, so World Economic Forum talked about future of jobs. It talked about skills. It talked about what's going to be some limitations, barriers in skill adoption in the next 5 years. So it has projected some. So it's a very important article. I'll share that as well. If you guys don't have the access to this article, I'll share the link. You can have a look at it. We have some snapshots of these important charts that I'm going to showcase. That's a clear indicator that AI and automations, all of this will be very important in the next 5 years. In this particular figure, it's talking about the technology trends of driving business transformation. So if you're a firm owner or an architect, you clearly notice that AI and information processing technologies, robotics, and automation systems, those are predicted to have the highest number of technology trends that is going to drive business transformation. Um, Especially in the new businesses, because they will be very quick in adopting these systems. But um nevertheless, if you're an old firm or a new firm, it's going to be an important factor in the next 5 years. Talking about macro trends in business transformation, again, it's expected that more than 60% of the digital access is likely to increase in the next 5 years. The more digital access you have, the more you have reach to AI. So you'll have tools in your hand. It's all about learning it and using it for your own productivity. increasing efficiency, and also cutting cost for your local usage. Recently, also talking about digital access, it's something that happened in India where Airtel, it's a big telecommunication company, has partnered up with Perplexity, and as a part of these, telecommunication services, you just have to pay regular phone bills, and as a part of the bill, you are getting 1 year subscription of Perplexity for free. So that's a very great initiative by the company. And since digital access is increasing, people are realizing that you are getting much more perks with that, and using those perks you can easily work with that as well. Talking about the demand of generative AI skills, again quoting from the same document of World Economic Forum. uh, so it's a trend that has been being noticed since 2022 2024, and you notice that the demand or AI enrollment trend has increased from zero to more than 200 and 500,000. And I think it's a big graph that indicates that the number is going to be much more higher in the next 5 years. So generative AI, as not just in AEC but in every domain, is going to be very, very important, and it's something that we should always look into. Talking about skills, this graph clearly shows what kind of employers are considering what kind of skills is important, and is it important for them to look into before hiring someone. And it's expected that more than 80% of the 87% of the firms are believing that there is high chances of AI and big data to be considered as skills, important skills, key skills to be a part of person's resume, followed by networks and cybersecurity. Technological literacy is also very important. The first three things are very important, and you'd clearly notice that it's more than 50% or more than net increase that will be required. And you'd clearly see that creative thinking is coming at fourth. So you see it's a clear trend. It's not something that has been made up in out of thin air. It's very important, and you have to capitalize on this situation in order to gain much from it. Again, talking about core skills in 2030, next 5 years, it's clearly indicated that AI and big data will be the main core skill that will be looked into whenever you are going for looking out for a job or hiring someone. You have again other core skills as well. You have networks and cybersecurity. You have technological literacy. Creative thinking is there, but at fourth. So there are things that still give you the human touch, but AI as a skill, it will soon be irreplaceable, and you have to be very proficient in it. Talking about skill replacements is also something that is concerned. And again, generative AI is something that can easily replace someone with high skills of manual automation as well. And it's clearly indicated that AI is going to be the main thing that will replace most of the people, or most of the people with a certain amount of skill set that is outdated. Similarly, if generative AI is not affecting big data, it's going to affect design and user experience as well. Right now, it's not indicated uh, at much higher in the scale, but it's still taking up pace, and people are realizing that there are many applications in user experience and design as well. Teaching, mentoring, and coaching is also something that is taking up generative AI is also taking a part in. Not that much, because people still require human touch in such domains. Similarly, in AC domain as well, at the end of each workflow cycle, there has to be someone, a human, who has to vet all the stuff. He has to give thumbs up, give a green light before going on an actual site. So what will be the key barriers? Skills is going to be the most skills is going to be skill upskilling, and organization culture and resistance to change, or the psychologies. These will be the two things that's going to be key barriers in business transformation. So skill gaps has to be covered, and how do you cover that skill gaps? It's by learning new technologies. AI is the crucial part of the technology right now. There are other technologies as well, such as if most of you know about BIM, there is BIM. It's being widely adopted around the globe. There is a parametric design as well, and traditional or conservative approach to it won't be very beneficial for any of them. So it's important to be very up to date and learn about things that matter the most, and it's going to be highly productive for you as well. Again, talent availability is also something that concerns business owners as well. So most of the business owners right now believe that talent availability is going to be reduced by more than 37-38%. And in the existing workflows, they believe that there is some kind of talent availability, but it's going to reduce. So there is some kind of panic going on in the business world as well. So talent along with AI skills is also very important. So it's all about being hybrid in nature, performing efficient workflows, and learning how to use AI in the most efficient use case. And public policies is also going to play an important role, because just like I said, if the government and if policies really help you to promote such uh, you know workflows, such tools, such skill sets, then it's going to be really easy for business to transform their workflows, save time, cut costs, and also it's very beneficial for employees as well, if they're looking for a job or something like that. So, just giving you some vague numbers before we move on to Allister, where we talk about generative design and ConTech. AI and workflows, talking about concept design, schematic design, design development, construction documentation, visualization, cost estimation, project management, energy analysis, risk management, etc. You notice that in a traditional architecture workflow, if you spend about 2 to 3 weeks, in a BIM workflow, it's about 1 to 2 weeks, and in an AI enhanced architecture workflow, you can do that in matter of days. And using George's tool Xfigura, you can also do that in matter of hours as well. So improvement percentage is in thousands, and you notice that it's 10 to 15 times faster. Similarly, for schematic design, for 4 to 6 weeks, you can reduce that time to 3 to 4 weeks. Whereas in AI enhanced architecture workflow, you can do it in 1 to 2 weeks. That is 3 to 4 times faster. Similarly, you can create more efficient workflows in design development from 6 to 8 weeks to 3 to 4 weeks. In construction documentation from 10 to 12 weeks to 2 to 4 weeks. In visualizations from 2 to 3 weeks to 1 to 2 days. In cost estimation, you can reduce from 1 to 2 weeks. It can be instantaneous as well. Similarly, for project management, energy analysis, and risk management, these workflows are getting affected drastically by AI enhanced workflows, and that's definitely something that should be looked into. Key improvements: design iterations. AI allows you to create multiple iterations in fraction of time. It's all about how you perform the workflows. Drafting and documentation is also something that takes loads and loads of time, about 1/3 of a firm's time. So automation drastically reduces the time required for creating detailed drawings as well. In BIM management and automated data entry timeline projects as well, you can easily automate all the data entries. Right now there's other new tools also available in the market. Gemini also helps you with automated data entry, and now with the agents in play, you can do much more as well. In project visualization, there is you can create faster and more detailed renderings to improve client communications and decision making. And it's also very it produces a good amount of yield for firm as well, because as the faster you produce a concept for the client for him to look into, the faster you have the chances of hiring or getting a project. Cost estimation is also very important. It saves up cost, errors are very reduced, so clients also gets benefits from this. Followed by revisions, since sometimes whenever a client requires a revision or a statutory body requires a revision, you have to go back to the entire workflow. But with AI enhanced workflows, you can, at a click of a button, you can update the entire sets in minutes. Similarly, for energy efficiency and risk management, it's very capable. It has good amount of predictive capabilities. Since the model are continuously getting trained on LLMs, on RAGs, you notice that its predictive capabilities are improving over time. Again, same graph, but focusing more in giving a comparative between traditional and AI-driven workflow. and you notice that same amount of improvement can be seen in design iterations, drafting and documentation, BIM management, project visualization, cost estimation, client revisions, energy efficiency analysis, and risk management. So to cut short, to summarize the introduction, we have four things. It's enhanced creativity, because whenever you are focusing on automating workflows, you are focusing and giving more time for creative stuff. So you'll have more enhanced creativity. Time efficiency, again, as proved that it reduces design times from weeks to hours. Since we are using AI, LLMs, and RAGs, it's a data-driven decisions. It uses patterns of millions of designs for optimal solutions. So these decisions will be highly accurate and also will be cost efficient as well. It also focuses on inclusion focus. So many of traditional design workflows currently focus on traditional design methodologies, but whenever we need to make some specialized design approach to something that will be more accessible or more convenient for a certain user group, that is also something AI can help us do. So this is the most important slide of all, that AI is not perfect. Sometimes it can hallucinate, and side-by-side ideation and source checking is very important. So never forget this. Whenever you are performing an exercise with AI, always try to cross-check data, and make sure that it has been vetted from the right sources as well. So let me introduce our first speaker. Let me introduce Allister. He is the founder and director of Automated Data Driven Design. He's also an AEC technology strategist. He has a good amount of experience working with firms based in UK, Europe, North America. He's also a ConTech enthusiast, and he has specialized. So right now he has his own portal by the name of Automated Design Driven Design, a website wherein he has published around 1600 ConTech tools. He's also a leading voice in AEC transformation. He talks about all the latest tools. He talks about how to adopt them and how to implement cutting edge technologies as well. With a career spanning for more than 20 plus years, he has helped organizations move beyond outdated systems, talk about data driven workflows, and help them execute them at a firm level. And his unique strength lies in bridging traditional sensibilities with tools based in AI, BIM, generative design, making innovation more actionable and accessible. So over to you, Alistair. Let me stop sharing it.
Okay, amazing. Thank you very much. So I've just shared my LinkedIn profile if anyone wants a bit more information about who I am and things. I'm conscious a little bit of time because I really want to get on to George's thing. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to be about 10 minutes. I'm going to go through this quite quickly. Let me just share my screen and just let me know if you can see the tabs from that. Yeah, can you see that? You can see my database here, and if it will, yeah, okay, fine, great. So I just wanted to do a quick run through of where I've come from and where I've got to essentially over a period of time. And okay, thanks, George. But so basically, where I came from is I'm an architect, I'm a BIM manager, and I started getting really interested in all the new software out there, ConTech, construction technology software. So I started putting it into a database, and this is that database now, and it has 1,600 and something different software in here. And I just kept putting them in it here every time I saw it, captured the web address and information about it, and categorized and tagged it. And I built all of this and was like, actually, how do I make this more useful for people? And the way I've done that is to create a marketplace. So the idea is that people who are selling software can create their own store and sell their software through here. And for users, they can go here quickly and easily and find software. So we've been adding software over the last year and a half to this. It's got around 250 products on here. There's a big focus on generative design, which I'll talk about a bit more. There are services on here as well. So if you do consultancy services, you can put them on here. And it's building up over time. And these are some of the companies that are on here at the moment, which I'm incredibly pleased to have on here. And then you can search by different categories. So what you can see here is I've put in over 100 different categories, which are taken from that database. And people can assign multiple categories to their software because lots of software do things across different areas, essentially. So that's why all of this kind of exists. You know, for these ones here, these are recently added, so I need to update these. but you can see per category there are different amounts. And under the AI design one in particular, we've got a lot of tools in here. So if you are interested to find out more about some of the tools which are out there, you can go in here and see some of those. And delighted that Xfigura is on here as well, and I can show you that pretty quickly. You can see essentially the software. There's a link to their website. You can see what it looks like, explore some of the images here and GIFs, and you can embed videos in here from YouTube as well. So been building this up over time, and that will continue as we move forward. And what I've been asked to do by organizations is to perform essentially what we call a growth ready tech strategy for them. It's a 6-week program where we go in and say, okay, AI is important, technology is important. Where are you now? How do we build on that to get you in the right place to adopt this new technology, the new workflows, whatever that looks like, and understand where they are? So we do a gap analysis, which looks at everything from hardware, software, infrastructure, processes, workflows. We interview all the staff. And this is one of the diagrams we use to explore what software they have in a certain across their workflows. And you can see, I'll show you the quick output from that here, where you can see that we start to identify gaps in their technology stack. So all the green areas is where they do have software, the red is where they don't, and pink is where they could augment with plugins and things like that. So we've been doing that for a couple of clients, which has been really fun. And then what we're doing is using the database and the marketplace to find different software across these different areas. And you can see within here, we've got AI-based tools here for different tasks, and we start to talk to them about what they look like. And then, looking at rendering tools, AI rendering, Xfigura is here as well, and then across other areas as well. So we're trying to build up what the opportunities are as an organization for them. And what that's kind of led to is this sort of output where we can then start looking at workflows for them. And I'm going to go to this one. And what you can see here is a start to say, actually, where can you use early stage software, new software to improve your workflows? This predominantly revolves around SketchUp is a poor tool for early stage design, and Revit and ArchiCAD is too in-depth. What could you use instead? And we're looking at BIM 2.0 software like Arcol, Hyper, Motive, Snaptrude, generative design tools as well at an early stage. What could they be using there to help them with their early stage design work? Sustainability software. What does that move into? Is it Rhino? Is it straight into Revit? How do you integrate into that? Do you use plugins like Beam or Speckle? The pink ones are kind of plugins for that. And we're just trying to show actually as a workflow where they can improve the way they work, where they can augment it, and where they can fundamentally change it. And part of that is looking at AI, what software they may be using in there, Midjourney, Visoid, Xfigura, Finestra. There's lots of different tools. Some of them are proprietary, some of them are more custom based, and you have to set them up yourselves. And then there's also kind of existing tools like Enscape, Lumion, things like that. So just trying to identify where software can augment the way that they work, essentially, and increase the quality of what they do. And in addition to that, we look at AI for kind of manual tasks, things like note takers and RFP, request for proposal, bidding, things like that. Knowledge management, and this is crucial in terms of having their data in the right place, so they can then interrogate that and use different tools to find details or drawings or information or knowledge that they've had over a period of time. So lots of really exciting things happening in this area. And what I wanted to show you this very quickly is, so there's an article in Architizer coming out on Wednesday this week, and I've created an article about this for that, looking at a lot of these tools, which were essentially designed in the 1900s. They're very old, all this software now, relative to where we are and the technology out there. And I have kind of talked about the future AEC software specification, which is here. I'll put a link in the chat to that a bit later when I finish, so you can find it. But basically is a sort of framework for how software should be built and what it should be doing for the future, rather than what we have currently, which are very undeveloped tools. And the big exciting thing I find is generative design and BIM 2.0 software, how they all work, what they kind of do for you. Some of them are around, feasibility studies, some are around master planning, some of them around, buildings and massing and things. Some of them do a bit of everything, which is really exciting. And then some of them do internal layouts as well. And what you then can start talking about is how do they link together? How do you start using these tools, depending on your workflows and your client requirements, to actually get to better outcomes, faster, quicker, more effective, more sustainable, and better. And then eventually you'll get them into those traditional authoring tools because we still need them, but it reduces the reliance on those, I think, and hope for, so that we get, better software doing things for us. And out of that, I have did a whole deep dive into generative design software. So if I go here, yeah, you can see this here. So I recognized there were lots of tools out there. There wasn't a very good way of understanding what those tools offered and how they worked. So I did a report on them, which is 300 pages, which is way, way too long. But it's incredibly in-depth, and it goes into everything you need to know about generative design and all the different tools that are out there. And what I used was this future AEC software specification. I've created a assessment criteria for this because it's great having all this software, but we don't have a very good way of actually saying how good is it? How good is it compared to another software? So what does that look like? So you can see here that you've got all of those different 10 criteria down the side. You've got all the different software, and you're able to give them a score, and then you can get a score at the end of it, which tells you how good they are relative to other software. So this is free. You can download this template off the website, and you can start using this to assess your software. And that's basically where I got to with this report. If I just go down a bit, you can see we're looking at all the different software and comparing them in here in depth as well. So there's two versions of the report. One is a lighter version, which just gives you an overview, and one which goes into a deep dive on all of them. One of the key resources I created with this spreadsheet, which has all of the 40 or so different software in here, and then I've given you all the key information about these. So the sector, what discipline they're focused on, is it generative design, is it AI, what export files can you get from this, what project scale are they, etc., etc. So I'll put a link in the chat to this as well, because you can access this for free. So that's all been really exciting, and there's more there which I want to do around assessing firms for their readiness, as well as assessing software and making these reports more readily available. What we've also done is we've set up a jobs page for you. So for people who want to move into construction technology and maybe doing BIM, computational design, you might be coding and you want to move into there, we're capturing all of those jobs that are out there at the moment and putting them onto this marketplace. And they cover everything from computational design to software developers, full stack, back end, front end, product management, etc., etc. There's all these different roles here, and just trying to share all of these so that you can actually see those roles that you may want to move into. So this is being updated every week. We're sharing the jobs on here. There's about 300 at the moment, but that will increase over the next few weeks as we've got a slightly different system of updating them. And then part of that, what we have been doing is talking to the software companies and saying, actually, do you need a bit of help with reaching your audience? What does that look like? And we've been doing positioning for ConTech companies and social media posts, and just trying to, help them to reach the ideal customer profile, the people they really want to be talking to use their products. And that's been incredibly fun. And there's quite a few different things that will be coming out over the next few months on that. And yeah, this is that spreadsheet, and then this is the if you want access to the spreadsheet, this is this lead. Sorry, this is the access to it here. So I'll put this in the chat, but basically it has all of the information on this spreadsheet is here, and you can access that. And then also I've got a newsletter which obviously comes out weekly, and then you can start to see all of this information, and I can keep you up to date on what I'm doing. So that's a very super quick kind of overview of what I've been doing. It's an incredibly interesting time for the industry with AI, all the tech, all this stuff coming out. So I'm here to help if I can. So please reach out if I can help at all. I'm really happy to meet and have a chat. And if you've got questions after this, then please let me know. But I will very happily hand over to George. Really looking forward to what he's got to present. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you so much, Alistair. I think your insights in AEC is among the best right now in the industry, and Thank you for speaking on this and sharing your insights and sharing the links as well. I'll add your company's email as well, where you have the
Sure.
marketplace where people can access all of this. And
Thanks.
also, I think people who are interested in jobs as well, you have AEC plus tech job as well. That portal has been curated by Allister as well, so you can
Yeah.
take a look on that as well. And so moving forward, I would like to invite George. And before George, you start, I'll just give a small introduction about yourself to the team who don't know about you. So George, let me present my screen for just a sec. Yeah. So let me give a small introduction about George Guida. He's co-founder of Architag LLP and Xfigura, and Xfigura is his current ongoing venture about solving all the workflow problems that we usually face in concept design. He is also a former Harvard University researcher, and he is an AI specialist architect as well. He's also an AI speaker as well, where he talk about AI strategies, risk management in AEC as well. He talks about generative design and multimodal AI workflows as well. And he also works with RIBA in expert advisory group as well. He also talks about complex AI and computational design systems and help them to integrate them into user-friendly tools, just like Xfigura. These platforms are really for architects and designers who find difficult to navigate around multiple tools that are present currently in the market, from research to research, text to image, image to image, image to video, video to outputs, image to 3D, and each workflow are having multiple options. You don't know which tool to use. So George has solved that problem for you in that intuitive platform. So I hand over the mic to you, George. Please be a guest and showcase your wonderful product.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me, and it's a real pleasure to be with you both. And Alistair, congratulations on everything you've been building on in the last. It's really great to see it all come together. And Nauman, I guess you're following in the footsteps, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more coming. It's a pleasure to be here. This is Xfigura, and I'd love to I'll give you guys a glimpse into the platform. And I also was asked, I guess, through invitation to maybe focus and frame some of the conversation on some of the latest models. And one of these is in fact called Flux Context, specifically the Flux Context Max model. And so I'll give you a glimpse in the demo of what things we can do on this platform. So just a brief thanks for the introduction. I just wanted to add that I guess I'm an architect by training. I worked many years at Foster's. I do come from that industry experience. I then set up my own practice, Architag. We offer similar AI consultancy for larger firms. And then this kind of led me into more in this research stage at Harvard, also worked at the Media Lab at MIT. So I bring also that technical side, which is really essential to really start pushing the needle in this space as well. But this is a year of agents. This is a year video. We're going to see a lot more coming up in the 3D space in the next few months. So I'm super excited for what is to come. And every week is always bombshells. It's a new model. It's a greater. And so it's going to be exciting to ride this wave together. And I've been working, as mentioned, with RIBA and the expert advisory group with NCARB AIA. So it's been great to help influence how the profession, at least in the US and the UK, has been moving. And I really care about bringing forward the correct values and instilling the correct pathway to protect the profession and ensure we're in the right place in the coming years. So what is Xfigura? I'll be starting with a brief introduction, give a little glimpse into what we call the V2 launch, and then I'll dive into the platform, maybe aim for about 30 or so minutes, and happy to take any questions or have a little discussion with you both, Alistair and Nauman. That'd be awesome at the end. So in a nutshell, we are an architecture ideation platform. We're built for architects by architects. You can consider us a form of Miro or an infinite canvas, which brings together 25 and actually now 26 of the best AI models all into one place. And so this is an example of it. It starts showing here a node-based system, which we've been developing for a few months now. And we have speckle integrations. We go from image through text, through video, and then 3D, all framed in these early stages, fully collaborative. So collaboration is really at the heart of what we're building. Bring architects, bring clients, bring product managers, all in the same place. You can share your boards, add comments, and have all the fun like you would in Miro, Figma, or all these mural type canvases. And so architecture by itself, this is pre-AI, was already very much a fragmented industry. So you add AI to the picture and things do certainly get a lot crazier. There is a lot of noise in this space. I'm very aware of that. And so we try to market ourselves or try to act as, for example, we try to act as an AI noise catcher. I'm going to pause 2 seconds because my battery doesn't seem to connect. I'll be right back in 2 seconds.
Sure, no problem.
There we go. And so another pain point is really navigating this from a creative perspective. You can see right here at the bottom, am I in control? I'm using Flux, I'm using Magnific, Runway, all of these different tools from different places. Keeping that creative control, especially in an academic or in a professional context, is really essential. Knowing how you got there, tracing that history, collaborating in one space could be improve that process. Not to talk about admin, managing multiple subscriptions, multiple end user agreements, and licensing terms all starts adding up, especially with all these monthly subscriptions. We tried to package this among several others, and I'm really interested, Allister, in you're saying that this BIM 2.0 or the future of AEC software, what that could look like. We're very much aligned with a lot of the list you were starting to point out. And so centralizing these, making a fully collaborative platform, data interoperability built for AEC, and something that offers as well that idea of a full idea of data security, which is a big challenge, especially for tools we're seeing like Midjourney, which essentially they retrain your data. So for models we have control over, we never take that data and we never retrain on, for example, the Flux enterprise models, which is what we call. Collaboration is very much at the heart, and giving these tools a faster but full control is definitely at the heart of it. So this is the typical, let's say maybe a typical medium or maybe an everyday user might be using so many different tools or testing. You have the ChatGPTs, maybe the Photoshops or the Geminis or the OpenAIs, videos, every few weeks, the next best video model is coming up now. And then 3D. Can we convert an image into a 3D model or multiple images as well? So we act as that full connector across all of these spaces. Today, we're offering 26 actually models, and every week we add minimum one new model, including parameters, including updates. When there's updates, we just upgraded the Tripo model, you name it. And so we go from open source world to the closed source world. And so we have, for example, the Flux models, the Stability AI models, and then what I'll give a glimpse into the Context Pro and Max model today, which is super versatile. And we're seeing this trend into these more conversational models. Can we converse, which is, a whole debate in itself. How much interface should we plug in, especially if we're AEC specific? We want to explore these different modalities, and how should we work with these tools? I think I'm trying to push very much that multimodality and always keep the architect fully in control, which is something I obviously advocate when I do teach AI and architecture classes or workshops at Harvard, or I'm involved also at UPenn. And Magnific, which can be called one of the industry standards or a very high quality results. platform for upscaling images, video, the VO3 model. For those who know these, there's so many different terms coming out every day, and then the 3D ones as well. It is based on a credit-based system where we're trying to keep these costs as low as possible. And so you can see it's a monthly subscription. So you're buying, let's say, a pool or a set number of credits, depending if you're enterprise or an individual user. We are built by architects for architects. We also have a full team of software, full stack engineers on the team. And we've just integrated, we've upgraded our Speckle integration. We're building out a Rhino plugin for later this summer. And so this idea of interoperability or easing any friction you might have in current workflows, not as a replacement, but to streamline processes and centralize what is these AI ideation workflows in one place is of importance to us. And so just a glimpse into some of the workflows. Text to render, it's like, let's say that hello world. Could you put in a prompt, get an image, enhancing images, do that image to image, which typically seems to be that core use case. Could you do an Enscape view? Could you do an Arctic view in Rhino or SketchUp or Revit, and then bring it in, keep coherence of those edges, and then make a render or a concept design. A sketch, if you have someone really great in the office who's interested in sketching or partners or on tablets, you could bring in a sketch and then iterate from there. Video has really seen a lot of attention in the last few months. And so we're really seeing architecture firms really embrace this and put a lot of demand in this surprising new exciting space. And 3D is very much up and coming. We're launching a new segmentation model. So you're going to be able to convert a single image into a segmented 3D mesh-based model. The applications for this are getting better and better. However, for now, it works really well for interior design, for furniture, architectures, let's say that one of those edge cases, but we're seeing results. The quality of those results are certainly getting better, and we're working towards moving out of this mesh world in the coming months. Relighting scenes, changing the seasons, you can really do those really well with that Flux context model. Importing the model, collaborating, it's that Miro-like canvas, which you can share, extend to your teams, your clients, or students as well. Everything is node-based, and so each node is intended to be the same in design, accessible. If you don't want to go into the parameters, you don't have to, so you can use it out of the box. Or for the technical users, you can then select this button, this settings button right at the bottom, choose your model, and then choose what settings to do. And so you can then share these boards, choose what type of nodes to use, and then work super fast or automate certain workflows. This is a glimpse into a Flux context workflow. Here we're doing a text to image. We imported a timber material that we liked, and then prompted it to combine those two images, retexture this past image, and then generate a new one. Add a style, a sketchy aesthetic, and keep coherent input and output. So the possibilities are really great. Some of the updates for our latest version, speed is definitely a big importance. So we have parallel processing, everything. You can generate 10 things at once. You have real-time commenting. We have a new text node. We're adding new nodes and new additions as we go. And new models, these things happen very regularly. So we're increasing the quality of our existing models, but also adding new ones. For example, video, you can have single image input to a video, or multiple inputs like start frame and an end frame, and then get to that final result. And the Speckle integration we just upgraded. If you're interested in testing it out or going on the platform, it's xfigura.ai. I will give you a little demo into what this looks like. I can paste it now into the chat. You're welcome to join in or follow as we go. Yeah. And so once you enter, it's super simple. You have a certain number of free credits, which you can use to test it out. And then you're landing on this board page, and you can share these with your teams and you can simply work on a project or share here are your shared projects, for example. Before going into a board, you can also access all of your past images. These are independent, this user specific. If you have a pool of credits, for example, in an office, only if that board, for example, is shared, you would see those results. So you can keep confidentiality. Training your own models is also offered. For those who know, these are called LoRa models, low ranking adaptation. So you can train with 20 to 50 images, drag and drop. Takes about 30 minutes, no longer, 30 minutes for baseline to a refined, which is like an hour and a half. You add a trigger word, and then you can run these super easily on platform, or even export these on off platform. So slightly technical, but the file format is called a safe tensor file. And so you're able to save that safe tensor file and bring it into, for example, Comfy UI, or bring it into other platforms, or bring models you've trained off platform. You can also bring those in. And so just to give a glimpse, for example, into some of these workflows, and there's really so many you can do. When you first log in or you first create your first board, you're going to be prompted with some settings. Would you like to start with a blank canvas, or would you like to choose your own template? Now, choosing your own template is right here on the left. And so templates are, for example, I want to start with a text, and then let me augment this very short text. It's a free to use these text-to-text workflows. And then now we get a longer text. And then you can click on this button, generate, or add more images. You can enlarge it, or go deeper into the models. And so I'm not great of an output, so we can try again. And you can dive deeper into the settings. So the beauty of this text to image node is that you then have the choice. Okay, I want to try another model. I want to try ideogram, or OpenAI's model, or Gemini's model. And some are more conversational. Some have better data sets. So how can I use these in different ways, or to get varied levels of results, or have different settings? And so you can just start with these out the bat and go ahead with it. You can then drag these over. You can see I'm connecting one node to another node, and then you have that image to image. You can choose, perhaps I'm happy with this image. I want to upscale. I want to make a video. I want to make it into 3D. And so you can choose what type of paths, what type of journey you want to go across. If you want to move fast, for example, it's very normal. Some architecture teams work really fast, especially in competitions. You have two options. One is you create your own custom workflow. And the second is maybe someone who has more time, or is perhaps a little more technical, might want to dive deeper into these parameters. We have full documentation about these. We offer full onboarding, and you can use the baseline models. But imagine you're really happy with this workflow, or you have an upscaling workflow. You can simply save this workflow as a template. So maybe I'll say Naman workflow, and I'll save it. And then I can share this template with the team, so that the next time I want to do that specific workflow, I can go back into my templates and see, okay, let's start from here. All the user then needs to do is change a text, or, for example, upload an image. You might want to start with your Rhino view, or any sketch or something. So you can input that image right into there, and maybe make a workflow to start from there. So the possibilities here are really broad. The idea is to give you full control, as well as a fully accessible interface, which can be used in many different ways. And another addition we added is this run all feature. You can see the number of credits, and you can simply automate that whole process. If I want to run upscaling on multiple images, or I want to test out different options, but I like my workflow, I can automate that whole process. So we're really talking about huge efficiency gains, but what I'm more important about is generating higher quality architecture and keep you guys in full control over that process with this whole history. So I can see what my starting point is, what my ending point is, and how my logic, my thinking process really went through. From an educational perspective, this is a great tool. So I like to teach process as project, which is with all the classes I've been teaching. This is where you really get the critical thinking. This is where you can have fun and say, okay, let's talk about your inputs. Let's talk about how much agency you had within the process. Did you iterate? Did you test? Or were you just content with that first result and you went with it? And that's kind of something I'm not trying to get out of my students in this student context, for example. And so a glimpse into what this process could look like is going from a sketch. This could be a hand sketch, or you could potentially even generate a sketch if you wanted to. Convert these, do an image-to-image process. This is using ideogram. You can use our very specific Flux Enterprise model, which actually gives you most of those different parameters. The strength, LoRa models, you can bring in your own LoRa model, or you bring that Flux context model. And again, you can use it out the box. You don't need to change any parameters or go deeper into the parameter settings. Here in this case, this is where the creative process might begin. Okay, sketch input, I converted into an image, I'm happy with it. I generated a texture. You know, we're having a conversation. What if it looks like this in marble? What if it looks like this with timber? And could we see what that hybrid situation looks like? Okay, so we've hybridized the two. We've applied this texture, and you can, maybe I'll go on one of these examples, and you can start seeing, okay, this is that marble applied into that texture, into that generated building. We can then upscale it. This is using Magnific. Then we can see that the before and the after. Maybe it's a little subtle here. This is a ×2 upscaling. You can go ×4, but ×2 by itself generates some really high quality images. And you can prompt the style and really go all in, even in the upscaling process. The parameters, for example, for Magnific, they do match that 1-to-1. These are the Magnific settings, and you have full control. Okay, creativity maybe 3, resemblance maybe 1. Let's generate a different result and then see what that looks like. And then why not end this or have a full conversation or continue this discussion even with clients and show them a glimpse into what this looks like. I think my internet's acting a little slow, but this is like a slow orbit around this building, around this villa, let's say, using a simple prompt like smooth orbit around this marble villa. And here I added more creativity, so it changed that result just a little bit. So you can see you can keep control over this whole process. Some other examples, and I'll wrap up in just a minute or two, in a few 3 minutes or so, is looking into taking that. This is working with KPF, who's in our pilot program. We have a lot of large companies working with us. Payette also in Boston. And you can hybridize, for example, an existing project with that sketch and then control, okay, let's see that output and then add that sketch style as an input and then maybe upscale it and work with it. You can add styles, you can add watercolors, you can really be creative. Another benefit, just to demonstrate the flexibility of this model amongst other models, is relighting an image. And so, for example, I have this nighttime scene of an image. It can be much more complex than this is, or I can import an image or a past render that I have worked on. I'll just drag it and drop it, or maybe go back into my history and say, let me find like this speckle model that we've made, and then I want to relight this image. And so I might connect here. I'll use the max model, which is the best performing. I'll copy this prompt and let's see, maybe this will work, maybe it won't. I'll generate 4 images and we can test it and iterate and see what happens. So nighttime, daytime, add people, upscale, zoom in, zoom out. The applications are very broad again. Let's see if it changes image into, it was a daytime scene, so I made that mistake and I added some kids. So you see the kids, it's prompted to say add 2 kids in the foreground. And so for all of these options, it's adding different variations of kids walking around there. And it was already daytime, so that was my mistake. Yeah, so this is a little glimpse into what we've building. We have a lot more coming up. We work really fast. If you want to reach out, we have a lot of enterprise benefits and different workflows we can offer. And to add, we have all these collaboration features at the end. And so the monthly plans, they go for individuals. You're essentially buying credits similar to many other of these AI companies. The difference here from Starter and Pro is more credits. This gives you more control and more options to generate. Or the enterprise option. For enterprises, we do focus on giving you a voice in our product roadmap, which is leaning a lot heavier into 3D space in the coming months. And you can essentially ask for features, ask for models, and we can work super fast to help implement and build those. We then give you support and we support calls and a dedicated onboarding. So happy to continue this conversation. If anyone's interested in joining us, you can visit the website xfigura.ai. Join our Substack here. I'll add these in the notes also in just a second in the comments. Or you can find us on LinkedIn or email me directly at info@xfigura.ai. Thanks for listening. I'm happy to take any questions or continue this conversation.
George, thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. I think you gave us a good insight about how efficient workflows can be, even if you integrate multiple tools. So sorry, my mic was up. So just thank you, George, for your wonderful presentation. I believe that many of us has started using AI tools in our workflows, but I believe that working efficiently with them, working smartly with them is also very important. I can give you a small insight about how I used to usually work around with multiple tools. I used to have 3, 4 separate memberships. I had separate for an image model or an video model. For image model, I used to have, stable diffusion. We used to use Flux. There's Kriya as well. And then I had a separate subscription for video as well, such as Kling, etc. Similarly for 3D. But since we have been in touch for a couple of months now, 3, 4 months now, and we know since I've tried your product, I've tried multiple workflows where I could easily integrate all of these workflows into one platform. So it's a really intuitive tool, and it's pretty convenient for users to easily just try out all the entire workflow in a much more uh, technical and much more convenient way, wherein you can collaborate as well. Happy to see version 2. I wasn't able to try it as of yet, so great work by you and your team. Happy to like so far, like I think it's one of the best tools right now for concept ideation. If anyone has some doubts, they want to ask something, I think we're happy to answer. Otherwise, you can always reach out to George. He has shared his LinkedIn as well. So uh, you can always reach out to him. He has good insights on best tools. And again, thank you, Alistair, as well, for giving us insights about various workflows that are entailing in AEC industry. Many of us usually think of it in a very linear way, but you and I both believe that it's a very different world out there right now, and things are much more complex, and they have to navigate it in such a way. So yeah, if we have any doubts, I think we'd be happy to answer. Otherwise, you can hit us up on our WhatsApp group or on LinkedIn.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, please.
So, George, so you mentioned this, that there seems to be every week there's a new model, a new rendering thing, and there's some certain people who are clearly sharing those on LinkedIn, and I think it creates a lot of anxiety for people because they're like, oh my God, there's something else I need to learn, or is this the new thing? Am I out of date now? How do you think that users should manage that better, or how do you do it, I suppose? Because I think overwhelm is probably the biggest problem for professionals at the moment. It's just there's too much. How do we manage it? I don't know what your thoughts are on it.
Yeah, it's a great question. Noise is real, and it's gonna continue. It's not going anywhere. And for architects, especially the smaller practices who don't have even Medium, like it's rare to find like a team of computational designers who have time, even to dive into all the tools unless they call you or you both. So part of what we do in adding new models is validating them. So testing them out, we're building out. We've just launched the first version of the documentation. We advise on what the best models are. So we have like sample workflows. And then for enterprises, the best way is we have a full onboarding. So it does take a moment. There are some interesting use cases for every model we add, but they are very use case dependent. And so at the moment, what we're finding is there's multiple models. Each are good or less good, for example, for some things.
Yeah.
So you have to know how to curate it. But I'm sure in the next, few months or like things are going to start to converge into the bigger players. And we're seeing, there is still this great push from the open source world with Flux Context, where we're going to see the open AIs, the Gemini. Gemini Flash was like a eye-opening moment with its more conversational approach, and then OpenAI came, and then Flux Context came. So we're going to see like maybe an agentic, more personalized. There's a lot of things coming up.
Do you think that they maybe bought some of those? So like, Autodesk and Nemetschek and all these super big companies. Do you think you said that Flux Connect was open source, but for some of these models, do you think some of them may be acquired and then brought into, like Chaos, for example, is a really good, they're a massive rendering house. They must be looking at this going, oh my God, what are we going to do? I assume they're going to buy some of these.
It's really hard because we're competing. It's like the AEC industry versus the tech industry.
Yeah.
We're not talking about foundational LLM models. We're still, even to train a foundation, like an image data set, an image model, it's tens of thousands of images, time, resources, and risk. There's a huge copyright risk, and there's a lot of lawsuits happening. I actually don't think. Maybe we'll see the bigger players, and Chaos perhaps has been a little maybe slow, and I believe they're probably using a stable diffusion model. Maybe they fine-tuned it. We'll see more fine-tuning, but I would love to see like bigger players that are architecture specific, buying out or creating their own. We certainly have that interest. We're now more in that fine-tuning. We have our own LoRa models. But I'm not now interested with the rate of change and fierce competition that there's out there. I'm not going to compete against the OpenAIs, the Metas, or And so that would be a big risk from Chaos. Like they buy up a huge, another, and then in a week or two, OpenAIs or someone else comes.
Yeah. I suppose that essentially they would probably be more interested in buying your software, which leverages, so it's one step removed, isn't it?
For now, I think it's a safer bet. We might see, if we scale ourselves to a certain extent, it would make perfect sense to build our own models. But are we gonna be then competitive, especially like in architecture? Maybe text might, at least for myself, might be a little more ambiguous. But architecture firms, fine. Data security, we want all of it. We have all these discussions. But a
Mm.
huge one, what brings users to a platform, UI, there's several things, but image quality. You want that quality to be the best of the line, and that is the reason why Midjourney is certainly an industry standard. But they retrain your data. So can you use that in NDA projects, client facing? It's kind of a push and pull, and you need to see as a firm where your comfort levels are. And I'll give you an example. Like what we give is enterprises a dashboard, and they can choose what models to turn off and on, depending on, like we host models. Our models are all secure. We don't retrain our data. We offer third parties. They might be happy with Kling AI or Runway's terms. Fine, turn those on. Let everyone in the office use it. But I'm not comfortable with ideogram because maybe they store my data for 3 days. And I don't know what happens in the,
No, absolutely. Yeah,
it's a lot changing.
Yeah, it's
I
fascinating.
mean, what is your view? Like, what is your opinion on it?
Well, I think that, I think, based on what you've talked about, these large companies will purchase some of these tools at some point. Not necessarily the foundational models for it, but things essentially like your software. There are quite a few rendering software companies that have come out over the last 12 months that I've seen, and they all do something slightly different. I mean, none of them do what you're doing, from what I can see, which I think is why it's very unique. But it does look like, there's some other ones which, you could see those software companies essentially purchasing because they don't have the skills in house. There was an example of this is I'm not going to name names, but there's a large software company. They were like, we're going to create a web-based version of our software. And they tried to do it. They tried to do it again. They then realized if they really were going to do it, it was going to cost them £5 million or dollars roughly to develop this properly. So they went out and bought another piece of software that had already done it, but they bought it for 10 million.
Oh.
So,
but first to market also means everything these days. So it's,
but that it's also that, for them themselves, because they're large incumbents, they've got certain processes and systems, and all the weight of that makes them very difficult to be nimble. So talking about first to market, they just can't develop things quickly because they've got to go through chains of approval or decision making and all the rest of it. Whereas for you're a small, nimble, hungry company that can do, we're going to try this, we're going to do this, we're going to bring this in, and you can do it, and you're flexible and creative and innovative. And I think those large companies just can't be that.
Yeah, and I guess that's why all of us have these lists. The top next companies, BIM 2.0. Autodesk is, they are pushing. They've got teams and friends and people I know also in those, but they're not. We're all waiting. Or is there going to be a buyout? It's interesting, but you also consider if you compare market share, Autodesk is still like 100% to zero, or like the 1% everyone else, all the newcomers. But we are still, I guess, waiting for what's to come, or what the Revit 2.0, or what is this going to look like?
Yeah.
And Chaos is a clear example. It's like Chaos is they bought the visualization tool, and I would say doesn't perform as well as several other tools, which is a bit surprising.
There was some layoffs or something like that also going on right now in Autodesk, right? In Autodesk, I think there were some layoffs are also going on in Autodesk.
Oh, that was last year. So that was interesting because they got rid of, was it 1,500 people, I think? And they said, we're not going to focus on essentially what those people were developing. They say we're going to focus on AI and web-based software. So they all of those people they laid off, interestingly, have moved into the ConTech industry. I think a lot of them, and taking all those skills and are now essentially building competitors to Autodesk. So there's a benefit because all those skills that Autodesk have been keeping in house, they kind of released some of them, and they can then implement and start building in smaller ConTech firms. So it's a benefit for the industry. It obviously wasn't for those individuals, but we reached out to loads of them with the AEC Tech Jobs website and said, go here, have a look. There's probably a role that you can fill elsewhere. And I'm reasonably sure that helped some people at the very least.
Yeah, and for any folks, I think to answer your question, Alistair, the initial question that you asked, how do you keep track? I think you yourself are a big contributor to helping that. You have a newsletter as well. So if any of you have some, you can simply go to the website, subscribe to the newsletters. I think you send the newsletter bi-weekly or weekly about the new tools, webinars. Yeah, so that's like newsletters is also something that is very beneficial in keeping track of all of that. And sometimes on Xfigura as well, you just open up the model canvas, you see, oh, the new model has been integrated. Okay, let's try that. So that's also something that you can always look into. But yeah, I think it's a very fast-pacing market right now, I think. And keeping track is a different department in itself that takes up a lot of bandwidth as well.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I've kind of positioned myself with some companies that said, look, you don't have time to do this. You're busy doing the job of being an architect or BIM manager or whatever, but I've gone away and done some research for them and come back and say, look, here's a selection of tools, saved you loads of time. You could kind of have a look at these and move forward from there.
Yeah, and I think lately Stephen and Nick also came up with a new tool, NeoStack AI, for all the tools tracking and technology management software, I think, right? And
That's right.
I think
Yeah,
they have a wait list going on right now. So yeah, like new things are coming. I think it's a fast-pacing market, like a hot space to look into right now for a year at least to see what's going on.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yes. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, George. Thank you so much, Alistair, for your valuable time. Thank you for the demo, George. I think it's a wonderful product. We definitely expect that it's gonna be one of the best tools to look into when it comes to, especially in concept design. I think that since we are on this page, there are more tools as well who are focusing on other tangents as well, and we are hoping to see that integrated as well into your platform. It can be a one-stop shop for everyone as well. And yeah, and thank you, Alistair, for bringing us insights on your consultancy, your AI programs, your trainings, and your insights. That was really valuable. And if we don't have any doubts, I think we are about just 2 minutes before the closing time, and I think we can have go.
Okay. Thanks for inviting me.
Cool.
Really great to be here.
Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining. I think many of the people will be seeing the recording because I just got last minute DMs that they won't be able to join. But yeah, I think that will be really beneficial. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Appreciate it. Take care.
See you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.